Hey there, cool kids. Today we're diving into a lovely story about a controversial HBO series starring The Weeknd and Lily Rose Depp that got the axe after just one season and 5 episodes. It's like they say, one and done. But what led to the downfall of this show? Let's find out. So it looks like The Idol couldn't hit the high notes and got voted off the HBO stage. Have you ever seen a TV show that was so bad it didn't even make it past the first couple of episodes? We'll get ready to hear about one. I'm no TV critic, but I sure have some dumb opinions about shitty television. So let's dive in. So, welcome back to the Mind House, where we explore the world, the weird and wonderful world of pop culture. Today, we're talking about The Idol, which is a controversial HBO series and vanity project from The Weeknd that left, let's just say, audiences divided from its star-studded cast to its open-ended finale. There's a lot to unpack here, and so grab your popcorn and let's get started. So to begin, you know a show is in trouble when even the cast members are unsure if there will be a second season. It's not every day that a show gets entirely reshot. That is probably the most absurd thing and unique thing that happened in this show's story arc. Story arc of the story about the story of the story in the story. But it still failed to make it past one season, despite having the star power of The Weeknd, the creator of Euphoria, Sam Levinson, and multiple, I'm assuming, consulting writers that were brought in to help edit it. Talk about a fucking disaster. So, it's like they say, if at first you don't succeed, cancel the show and move on. It's like that old mid 2000s R&B rap song. If at first you don't succeed, just cancel the show and move on again. Just cancel the show and move on again. All right, I'll shut up. So, why do you think some TV shows fail to find an audience while others become instant hits? Is it all about luck, or is there something more to it, like exploiting women and becoming a BDSM shit show? If you're enjoying this video and want to see more hilarious takes on pop culture as we go on, I just needed to take a break to mention that you should make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the Mind House. And hey, if you've got any recommendations for future episodes of The Idol or this show, leave them in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going. So, the downfall of The Idol says a lot about the unpredictable nature of the entertainment industry. I'll say that. They put a lot of money behind this. They put a lot of talent behind this. They put a lot of marketing behind this. They had one of the stars, one of the main musicians from the band Blackpink, which is like the largest one of the largest K-pop bands in the world. You have The Weeknd, who's clearly the largest, if not the largest pop male singer of the moment. Sorry, Taylor, male singer, and then you had Lily Rose Depp, Johnny Depp's daughter, having her first nepo baby role. It had all the ingredients for a great, salacious, follow up to the successes that HBO has had, like Entourage and others. And it definitely played into the Hollywood ethos. It had a new angle on it. It took a very like art house approach to things and exploring the underworld of Hollywood, whereas Entourage explored the male chauvinist bullshit, and it was fucking annoying. But the yeah, so the The critical reception and the audience response made it very clear early on that the show missed the mark. But even before that, it was plagued by controversies around the production, with crew members coming forward to give an expose to Rolling Stone in, I believe, about 6 months before it premiered, saying that the show had been completely reshot, which was not known prior to that time, and that the director had been fired, Sam Levinson had taken over, that the weekend was given full creative control, and that this was becoming a disaster. It was estimated, I believe, that the show cost $8 million an episode to produce, which is insane for a TV show without a first season. And I think HBO thought this was their next big thing, their follow up to the ratings setting success of Euphoria. They gave this guy, the Sam Levinson guy, more star power, more money, and it didn't work out. Um, so The Idol was one of HBO's most provocative. So this article is from Deadline about the cancellation from today. This was announced today. The Idol canceled at HBO after one season. So it goes on to say the controversial series from Euphoria creator Sam Levinson and Abel Tesfaye, better known as The Weeknd, will not be returning for a second season. And it's not a huge surprise, blah, blah, blah. Some of the cast did mention a possibility of a second season during interviews. I think that they were more so just trying to be the good company spokesperson at the time. I think everybody involved with this show must have known how big of a disaster they had to have known. And then an HBO spokesperson goes on to say, The Idol is one of HBO's most provocative original programs, and we're pleased by the strong audience response. Hold up. One of the most provocative programs? Are we talking about the same show here? So they're claiming that it had a strong audience response, but if that's the case, why did it get canceled? Like, it doesn't add up. They're not acknowledging the failure. Maybe the strong audience response was just a bunch of confused viewers trying to figure out what the fuck they just watched, much like myself. But thank you, HBO, for gracing us with one of your most provocative programs. I mean, who needs quality television when you can have confusion and disappointment and provocative content from Bravo and TLC? But yeah, let's see if this show of this cancellation gets any better. Fingers crossed, from what the HBO spokesperson said. So after much thought and consideration, HBO, as well as the creators and producers, have decided, oh yeah, it was a mutual decision. We all meditated on it. Have decided not to move forward with the second season. We're grateful to the creators, cast, and crew for their incredible work. Well, that's nice of you to say. What about all the people that they fired from the first crew? From what I heard, that they said that they replaced the entire crew. They fired them all, didn't invite them back to the reshoot version of the show. That was a big part of why anyone even came forward to blast them in Rolling Stone. So, okay, the article goes on to say, this is interesting. HBO only released viewing data for the first 2 episodes. The premiere reportedly drew a same-day audience of 913,000 across HBO and Max, whichever it's called these days, while the second episode dipped slightly to 800,000. According to HBO, the decrease in week 2 came from linear viewing, not from linear viewing as on television. I don't, gives a shit. Who has a TV? Who has a TV? What is a TV? Not from viewing on Max, which makes sense considering the series likely was targeting a younger demographic than the typical linear TV viewer. And Deadline is a industry trade, so we should note that some of the jargon is for the fucking jargon industry. Um, so looks like The Idol couldn't keep the audience's attention for long. 800,000 viewers, keeps going down. They didn't release, as it says, uh, any viewership data after the first two episodes. And I believe everybody was hate watching it. So the premiere had a decent viewership, then it dropped off significantly. I guess people just weren't feeling it. I guess the allure of The Weeknd and Lily Rose Depp wasn't enough to save this sinking ship and this pop star's mental breakdown. So, what's that? You thought people actually wanted to watch a show about a pop star's uh, sexual fantasies and uh, mental breakdown, and see The Weeknd uh, shoot torture porn with the nepo baby of a famous celebrity. You, what's that? You silly you. Uh, nope. Not when it makes no sense. So, anyways, go back to the article. It says after a week on Max, viewing for the first episode had ballooned to 3.6 million. HBO said that outpaced the series premieres for both The White Lotus and Euphoria in the same time period. And that doesn't surprise me given the star power of The Weeknd being the vehicle, and then the lead singer of Blackpink being involved with the show. And by the end of season one, the average episodic audience was 6.6 million for Euphoria, and for The White Lotus, it grew to about 9.3 million viewers. And what they're saying there is that the viewership increases when HBO has a successful show. You think of like a show like Succession, it started out without any major stars. The show grew to a cultural phenomenon just because of the sheer quality of the show. HBO consistently churns out culture setting hits, and HBO is not a force to be reckoned with, except in the case of The Idol and filming torture porn. So, or giving The Weeknd full creative control. So, the show did gain some traction, but it was apparently not enough to save it. I think it's important to note that if the show likely had gotten enough viewers, despite all the shit it was getting, with all of the, negative attention it was attracting, and the memes and the hate watching going on, that they likely would have kept it. I mean, The Weeknd, creative Euphoria, it had the ingredients. If they kept it, they would have just given them a shot at season two, and I'm sure people would have accepted the fact that the show improved from the first season. That's not unheard of. A lot of major shows have had rough seasons, and then people, fans accept it. So The Idol beat out The White Lotus and Euphoria in the same time period. Blah blah blah. So I wonder if the negative reception had any impact on its viewership. It probably did, but it probably just fucking sucked. Let's go back a little bit though. Thank you, Deadline, for that article. That's great. But I don't know about you, but when I first heard the premise of the show, I couldn't help but roll my eyes. Just yet another rehashing formulaic wealth exploiting, fame exploiting TV show. We've seen it on HBO a million times rehashed. So, a pop star trying to reclaim her glory. This has been done. And little did I know that this show could take the mundane concept of a struggling pop star and turn it into such a fascinating train wreck. And I think that's what the show did so well. We had The Weeknd himself taking on the role of Tedros, the nightclub impresario with a sordid past. I love The Weeknd's music, but his acting skills, they left a lot to be desired. And then you had Lily Rose Depp as Jocelyn, the pop star determined to reclaim her status. I'm not saying she's a bad actress, but let's just say her performance didn't light up the screen in the way that I wanted to be lit. But it wasn't just the cast that was a letdown. The story itself was a huge mess. It didn't really make much sense. There was a lot of rambling. There was a lot of scenes where it seemed like they had been written and then rewritten while they were shooting. You had Jocelyn going through a nervous breakdown, only to suddenly be inspired by Tedros and his sordid past for no inexplicable reason. For all the inexplicable reasons, there was no chemistry between the two. It made no sense. And then you are, as a viewer, you go, will her romantic awakening with this cult leader take her to glorious new heights or the deepest and darkest depth of her soul? And who knows? But what I do know is that the writers seem to have no fucking idea where they were going to go with this. And it's shocking considering that they reshot the entire thing. So, yeah, and let's not forget that HBO still tried to save this train wreck. They still gave it a Cannes premiere, which obviously they paid for. Don't kid yourself. Cannes was fucking Conzies was giving them their shot at saving their reputation because HBO is a big customer of that film festival. And, hey, I'm glad HBO had the decency to cancel the show and not cave in to the allure of keeping The Weeknd around. After this one season of a train wreck, they already shot 2, basically. Release the first one. That would be so much better. Like the Snyder cut. Just release the first one, like the Snyder cut. Give us the Snyder cut of The Idol. Give us, what would it be? The Abel cut. Give us the Abel cut. God, I hope that happens somehow. It probably will in like 10 years. Anyways, they could have dragged it out for multiple seasons of disappointment, but they spared us that agony. So for that, I guess we should all be grateful. But it definitely does bring up an interesting topic, though, the challenge of creating a successful TV show. It's not easy to captivate audiences these days and keep them coming back for more. Let's take a moment to just, explore the world of TV show cancellations and the factors that contribute to a show's demise. You have poor critical reception, low viewership. You have no advertisers willing to advertise on a certain program. And then that's why the internet is so beautiful, because it creates direct portals to the audiences that want to consume that content. Now, The Idol, I think, would have failed on any platform, but hey, somehow it found a home on HBO, the most respected brand in television, and couldn't even leverage that into getting some recognition. Anyways, this is now the Idol of bad TV shows, a train wreck in itself, a real life, true Hollywood story. So, see quickly just some Twitter reactions to the cancellation. You have Pop Crave writing, posting about the story, and then under this, can't imagine why, with some so much. Oh my god. We won with Kamala Harris. Nature is healing. 1,677 likes. I think we saw this coming ever since that first episode dropped. And that seems to be the consensus. I think we're all on the same page. But there definitely was a corner of the internet that was into it. I heard the theme song, the Jocelyn song being played at the gym. It seemed to be gaining some momentum. I was actually really curious to see if it would ever pull through. But then, sure enough, it never did. I thought maybe, hey, for episode 4 or 5 might be better. But yeah, check out this clip of The Weeknd's acting chops.
Let me catch you looking at her again. Let me catch you looking at her again. I'm not.
Let me catch you looking at her again.
I'm sorry.
Let
I'm
me
not
fucking
sure.
catch you looking at her again. I'll fucking drag you down, Rodeo. Your fucking ass. Just fucking stomp you. I'll fucking curb stomp
I'm
you.
sorry.
I'll fucking curb stomp you.
I'm sorry. I don't.
Fucking curb stomp
I'm
you.
sorry.
And there you have it, folks. That is all you needed to know just to fully grasp why The Idol, a controversial HBO series, will not be returning for a second season, and why, even with all the star power, Abel testifies terrible acting and relentless promotion of the show could not save it. And it shows you that all this talk about industry plants that we want to believe, this concept that there are out there conspiratorial forces who have been pushing the levers to pump up people like Bobby Altoff, you know, who famously just got a interview with Drake after 3 episodes of her podcast, with many calling her a trust fund baby industry plant. She only got it because of her connections to WME. Do I need to just replay this clip one more time to explain?
I'll fucking curb stomp you.
I'm sorry.
I'll fucking curb stomp you.
And that's all you need to know, that even when you have a turd, the industry cannot save you, folks. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the Mind House for more hilarious, invigorating, exhilarating takes on pop culture. And hey, if you want to share your thoughts on The Idol or any other canceled TV shows, leave a comment below and let's keep the conversation going and see what's next to be canceled. Maybe it's me.